Most people don't want to get in the arena of life. They don't want to fight. They want to survive. And if you leave it for too long, it all becomes too much. The pain becomes overbearing. We lose 3,000 lives a year to suicide, but I truly believe if we can make people more aware of the strength they can be to themselves with these approaches to building resilience, we can give them the hope to continue and go on to live and lead healthy, happy and highly functional, beautiful lives the same way I have.
Why do you do what you do?
I guess for a long time, being in the field of mind and behavioural health, and also having a truckload of lived experiences, it's seeing thousands upon thousands of people that reach out to me from hearing my story and seeing the way in which I combat my pain and my inevitable life situations and challenges, that I'm just really passionate about trying to put the wellness back in their hands the same way I have for me. Unfortunately, I never got the help and support that I would have really liked off professional services, and that's no detriment to them. That's not telling people to walk away from that avenue of help and support, but I don't think people out there understand how strong you can actually be, and I think sometimes it takes for you to be at rock bottom to understand exactly how strong that is. And unfortunately for me, I believe I've been there, been the best teacher there is been in my whole life, and that's equipping myself with the skills and techniques and understanding of basic mind and behavioural health and how this brain works and how my body functions, that I'm able to come up with the tools and techniques, like I said, to be able to combat everything that I go through. As I've always said, life, it's not easy, never will be, never has been, but I believe it is simple when you put the same work into your brain, the same way to do our body to look well. The same way we go to work every week to work 40 hours a week to earn money. But as I say to everyone, what do you prefer, health or wealth? And for me, it's health. Yet I work 40 hours a week, so I'm going to put the same amount of time I do into earning money as I do into my brain. And through that, I've come up with skill sets on skill sets on skill sets that help me live a healthy, happy and fully fulfilling and functional life every single day. And it pains me to see a lot of other people out there thinking that therapy and medication is the be all and end all, and to think that that's all that they know exists. So to be able to come up with these skill sets, not only do I live a better life, but I'm in turn able to punch them out there to everyone else. So, coming up with this holistic approach on 1,440 minutes in a day, and a lot of people will sit there and always question me as to why I talk about 1,440 minutes. Isn't it 12 hours? Isn't it 24-hour planner? But I think that that's a clear indication of how long we have in a day, and there's a lot of those minutes in a day that we're wasting or not using. So for me, when people often say they're busy, I think that's an indication that they're not prioritising their time for themselves. Yeah. And when you're experiencing mind and behavioural health challenges the way I was and the way that many others do, I believe that you have to be the priority in that situation. Yeah. And I know damn well if I don't put this 1,440 minute structure into my life every single day, I know I'll wake up and I'll struggle. Yeah. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It is easier said than done. As you've seen this morning, we win the morning, we win the day. And I get up every single morning in the AM, normally when it's still dark, and that's doing, meditation. And we did that this morning on the beach. I've got a clear canvas every morning when I start. It's just me, the sand and the water. And that's how I want to start every day. Just getting everything out there with no distractions. Yeah. So many people wake up every morning and the first thing that they do is reach for their phone. Being reactive to the world. Looking at what everyone else is doing. I'm not interested in what everyone else is doing. The only thing I'm worried about when I wake up is me. Yeah. I'm going to help myself so I can help you. Yeah. And grounding techniques, big practices of gratitude every single morning, and they're the big things. Yeah. As I said to you this morning, it's about coming up with that thing that makes you feel most alive. Yeah. Because we often forget about those moments. Yeah. And they just become that. But every single morning I grab and ground that gratitude every single morning. And as I showed you, I make that bubble with it. And ain't nobody getting inside this thing. Yeah. Fear and anger, two most debilitating and exhausting emotions that the human body experiences. For me, I experience them all the time. Yeah. Fear and anger can't be felt when you're practicing, consistently practicing gratitude. Yeah. So for me, every single morning is practicing those big things. Grateful that I'm alive, because I shouldn't. Grateful that I, live on the beach and have that opportunity to be down there. Grateful that I get to wear clothes. Grateful that I have a roof over my head. Grateful for family. These things don't change from day to day, but they're just a reiteration that I know that they exist.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Small practices of gratitude come at the end of the day when we acknowledge every single thing that's happened in that day.
Yeah.
And all those positives that we miss and ignore because we just go to bed and think we've had a shit day become the things that we miss out on.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather fill myself full of those 1%.
Great,
Welcome
long
to the
day.
life of boxing. I mean, as I was talking about today, boxing for me was a real game changer in my life. Obviously, a lot of people look at combat sport as a savage thing to do. But it wasn't until I walked into the boxing circuit and spoke to a couple of people and asked them, why are you in here? Why do you box?
Yeah.
And their response was to keep my head out of a noose. I go ask old mate over here and I said, mate, why do you box? Why do you get in there and cop punch after punch? Why do you come in here and train by yourself every single day?
Yeah.
To keep my head out of a noose.
Yeah.
And for me, it was no different.
Yeah.
The discipline that you get from being the only person in that ring, the only one that can do anything about it, is the same correlation with life. So many times we rely on that therapy and that medication. We put our wellness in the hands of a doctor, put our wellness in the hands of someone else, and then we whinge and carry on when life's still shit because they've dropped it. I'm going to put my life in my hands because I know damn well I'm not going to drop it. I might let myself down from time to time, but I'm not going to drop it. And that's what boxing is for me. It's that discipline of knowing that it's me versus you. It's me versus this.
Yeah.
And I'll come back every day and step in that ring and keep fighting and fighting and fighting. The discipline to know that if I miss a punch, I'm getting a broken nose. So it's tough. It's rugged, but that's what this is.
Yeah.
There's you drop your guard, and the same way you drop your guard in your life, you're going to get punched in the head. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get heartbroken.
Hard whack.
Yep, you're going to fall down that black hole again that we're both so familiar with. So, I mean, the correlations with boxing have been paramount for me, and that's why I wanted to show you today, not just to box, but I wanted to show you the correlations between our life and the mistakes you were making with boxing.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you made me get out of my own head and stop overthinking, things came naturally.
Yep.
And that's exactly the way that I am in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big advocate for combat sports, and I'll definitely, when I get the opportunity to have kids down the track, they'll be definitely going through combat sport at some time. Doesn't mean they have to go out and fight and carry on. Just means that they have to learn the disciplines of what it looks like to live in a life that might be challenging.
Yeah.
What do we do after that?
Running.
I think we also, big one that come to mind for me today when we were both running is knowing that everything in life is much easier done when we share it with someone else.
Yeah.
For me to be able to run next to you today and have a laugh and carry on. I'm not fit at the moment, but I mean, I was barely huffing and puffing because my mind was elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the distraction that it is.
Yeah.
Everything in life is much easier to lift when you got two. A new one for me, but it's one that as I was speaking to the yoga instructor today, it'd be nice to be able to show more men in those tough macho environments that yoga is something that should be
priority.
Yeah, I mean.
So for me, yoga, meditation, those practices that tend to relate to spirituality, which is something I've discovered recently, that's my biggest part of wellness. That's my...
All goes back to the breath.
Yeah, it all comes back to the breath. And I think I've only just really today really realised that and correlated that with the breath in doing the breathing method that we did this afternoon. Really realised how much breathing well and breathing properly is so important.
I've never been taught it.
No.
Never been taught it. As I said earlier today, we got the three most important things on the planet for any of us to survive, me, you, anyone, to survive is food, water, and oxygen. We're so worried about what we consume in terms of water and food, or liquid and food. How much time and effort are we putting into our breath?
None, we take it for granted.
Breath, as I said before, breath cures, helps with inflammation. It keeps our blood cells alive. For me, it's a no-brainer, but now that I have that understanding to know that breathwork's so important, again, it's about making more people aware about it. Because for so long, I was in that same situation that everyone else is in right now. I had no idea what yoga was. I thought meditation the same as was just someone sitting there with their legs crossed and humming. But to know that it's so much more than that, and you pick up on all the whinging and bitching that goes on in the world when you're so self-aware and connected to what's really important.
Yeah.
And people's conversations become really, really stupid.
And it really focuses on and ties back into what we were doing this morning with the grounding.
Mm.
Like, especially today, the one that we did today was really about grounding yourself to the mat, focus on being grounded. And that is such a transformative practice, is to just ground yourself. We're in an age where we're so in our own heads and we're so up in the cloud of the internet that we really forget to come back down and ground ourselves.
Another great place where you meet people that are on the same path, same journey, but also there's no judgment, there's no shame in I don't know nothing about yoga. My flexibility, I can barely touch my knees, but I rock up and I'm in a space where it's relaxed and comfortable with no stigmas or no shame attached to it, so I'm able to grow.
Yeah.
There's not many places in the world that you can go and do that.
No.
You're always going to have someone that throws shit at you, or someone that hates you, or someone that mocks you for not being good enough. I feel like these places where meditation and yoga happen are the same sort of people on the same journey.
100%.
Ice baths, your favourite, my
Yes.
favourite.
Yes. It's, as I was saying to you before, when I opened my eyes after doing the breath work, just before getting into that ice bath, the world was a different colour. I've never experienced that before.
How are you feeling now?
Content. Calm. Warm.
Will you do it again?
100%.
Will you have cold showers?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will, moving forward.
This is why I want to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I know if people give me the opportunity to show them what I do and the day in the life of, you'll see the benefits of what I do. It's not fucking crazy.
No.
Well,
Slightly.
arguably, but the things that I do make a massive difference to me, and the same things that I do will make a massive difference to other people.
Yeah.
I wish I had to know what I know now.
Yeah.
Ice baths, again, they're another thing that I don't necessarily like. The water will never get any warmer, but my relationship with the water will get stronger.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that we have to do with ourselves, with people around us, with the world that we live in. We can sit back, kick, whinge, scream and carry on about the situation that we're in. My mental illness sucks, depression sucks, bipolar sucks. No, it doesn't. I was born to be in this situation, this chair that I'm in right now, and live with bipolar disorder. I can continue to kick back off the sucker and say how bad it is, or I can learn to love it.
Yeah.
And that's the same relationship with the cold. 1,440 minutes in a day, 1,440 opportunities to make this world a better place, not only for you, but for me, but for everyone else out there. So, I mean, this is why I want to put the skills back in other people's hands so that they can become the best version of themselves. I don't love doing this job. I don't like doing the things that we did today. I don't like talking about the things that we do. I don't do it because I love it. I do it because what I love is seeing people live their best life. Love, belonging, connection. All we want to be is to love and be loved. Seen, heard, felt and got. And I believe that we can do that when we put the time into ourselves and learn to love ourselves so that we can love others. Love beats hate. Kindness wins every single time.